What's up, guys? It's Eric from Rare Candy, and today we're back with the top 4 match of a recent League Cup that myself and Marcus from the channel got to go attend. We don't have any of the Swiss rounds to upload, but we did record the top cut round, so this one and the finals, which should be up pretty shortly too. So here on the left we have Ryan Allred. He's going to be playing Mega Mewtwo with Fairy Drop, none of the Shrine of Memories or traditional Mega Mewtwo stuff. He's playing Fairy Energies, that way he can, like I said, abuse that Fairy Drop item card. And then here on the right we have Mandy Dawson, and she's going to be playing Darkrai Giratina. But I think she also plays Salamence in there, and a couple other Disruption cards as well. So both players kind of playing interesting takes on some traditional archetypes. Like I said, as usual with Mewtwo, they typically abuse things like Shrine Memories to use the damage change Mewtwo's attack with their Mega. But in Ryan's deck, he doesn't play the damage change Mewtwo's. He actually plays the Photon Wave Mewtwo and the Energy Absorption one from the newest set, Evolution. So definitely a little bit different than the standard Mewtwo deck. Okay, it does look like he is actually going to get a basic, so I'm sure he's excited about that. And his opening hand actually looked pretty good from what I could tell. He had an Ultra Ball, a Shaman, Parallel City, a couple cool little cards there. Okay, let's see who gets to go first. So it looks like Mandy's going to start. And here you can see that Team Flare Grunt in her hand. Like I said, she is playing some interesting disruption cards, and that could be big in this matchup. We'll have to see. So here she's going to play Hoopa EX, grabbing herself a Darkrai, a Giratina, and another Darkrai. So the idea for this Darkrai Giratina deck, for those who aren't too familiar with it, is Darkrai has this attack, Dark Pulse, does 20 plus 20 more for every, I believe it's Dark Energy that you have on your field. And when you attach a double Dragon Energy to your Giratinas, it actually counts as 2 Dark. So Giratina is just a nice backup attacker whose energy also happens to more easily power up Darkrai. So she's going to play her own Parallel City, which could be a little bit annoying for Ryan. But here, like I said, we're seeing that double Dragon Energy come down on Giratina, and she actually has a pretty threatening first turn here. So really the big thing Ryan needs here is going to be a Trubbish, because basically what this matchup comes down to is, can Ryan get Garbodor out first, or can Mandy get Giratina attacking first? And that is ultimately going to determine what happens in this game. Because Giratina EX does have that Renegade Pulse ability, so it prevents damage done to it. Actually, I think it's all effects of attacks, including damage done to it by your opponent's Mega Pokemon. So if Ryan can't use his Mega Mewtwo's, he's going to be in some trouble. But luckily, he does get the Float Stone and Trubbish down, and he's going to set up for a fresh 6 cards. So he is actually having a pretty decent turn to respond to hers with. But this could be problematic if Mandy has another double Dragon Energy and Lysandre's the Trubbish. Then I'd hate to say it, but Ryan would be in some trouble. So I think he actually should probably take the time to set up another Garbodor if possible too. Because Giratina's attack is equally as annoying. It not only does it do 100 damage, but prevents your opponent from playing tool cards, special energy, and stadiums. And tool cards are so important because you need them to attach to your Garbodors to shut off that Giratina's ability. So we'll have to see how this match goes, but that's ultimately, I think, what this is going to come down to. Can Ryan safely get out a Garbodor, or can Mandy start attacking with this Giratina before that happens? Here we're going to see a Fury Belt go down on Shaman, Max Elixir. Okay, so she's opting to power up Darkrai. Maybe she's thinking, well, it looks like he has the Trubbish with Float Stone. I'll just attack with Darkrai instead of going the Giratina route. Because Giratina is actually a poor attacker against Mega Mewtwo, because Mega Mewtwo's attack is 10 plus 30 more for every energy on both active Pokemon, and Giratina takes a whopping 4 energy to attack with, so she might be conceding the fact that Ryan's going to get Garbodor out and is choosing to go the Darkrai route. Okay, so she's going to drop another Giratina and then Hex Maniac and pass. Okay, and Ryan actually does have Garbodor, it looks like, in hand, but I don't know if he has a draw supporter. That's the big thing I'm not seeing here. So he's going to attach a Fairy Energy. I do see Lysander in hand. Okay, so he has two Lysanders. He might have to just Lysander something and just start stalling. So here, he is going to go after this Hoopa. It has a 2 retreat cost. And also Mewtwo can attack it for weakness too. So I think that is a good choice on Ryan's part. See, Mandy has a Ninja Boy in hand. That could be interesting. She's just going to Pokemon Center Lady and pass, it looks like. So neither player is really doing too much right now. So it looks like Ryan's just continuing to load up this Mewtwo. And Mandy does draw another Double Dragon Energy. So I'm curious, Ryan does not, he is choosing not to play down the Garbodor he has. I think it's a little bit interesting here. I mean, I guess she has a full bench anyways, so she can't really abuse her abilities anyways. So, and here I would, this is just such a tough spot. He could potentially Sky Return with Shaman to potentially draw cards on the next turn, but I don't think his hand size could be low enough to really make use of that. Okay, so here it looks like Mandy does top deck out of drawing dead out of the two players first. Hopefully Ryan can get a supporter of his own to jump back into the game too. Okay, so we're going to see a Max Elixir come down. Let's see, does she hit anything? Okay, so she does. Going to power up this Darkrai a little bit more. And this is getting a little bit scary looking. She is starting to get a good bit of energy on her field now at this point. So let's see, right now Darkrai is doing 2040, 60, 800, 2040, 150 right now if I'm doing my math correct. So another turn, if another turn goes by, she will kind of be able to one-shot most things that Ryan will have. So it's getting a little bit worrisome, I think, right now. Oh, okay, so she didn't attach return either. So I think now she actually is able to one-shot this Mewtwo EX. Oh, and she has the switch. So here, if I'm not mistaken, like I said, this will do exactly 170. Taking a knockout on the Mewtwo. And hopefully Ryan can get something good here. Just a Mega Turbo. Oh, this is unfortunate. He might just have to keep Lysandering to stall and get back into the game, or he might just want to even consider scooping going straight to game 2, just in the interest of saving time. So he's going to Lysander this Hoopa. And he can Sky Return. Let's see what happens. Does Mandy have another way to switch out the active spot? So she's going to draw for turn. And I can't tell what she has. I don't think I see a switching card. So she might just have to Sycamore in an attempt to get an escape rope or a float stone or something like that. And here I almost might want to say it's worth it just because, I mean, I don't know how many switching cards she plays in her list. I think it's 3, if I'm not mistaken. It might be even 4. And she's only played 1, so she does have decent odds of hitting something. Because her deck is decently thin at this point, too. Oh, she is just going to opt to pass, though. And here, okay, Ryan does have an N. Looks like he's definitely thinking about playing it. And he's thinking about evolving into Garbodor as well. Okay, so he does opt to evolve into the Garbodor. Here he's going to end. So even though this will take the option from playing something like a Shaman or Hoopa down, at least it will be out of his deck and in play. But this is actually kind of a cool play. He did bench the Shaman and attach a double colorless to it, because even though he doesn't get to draw cards from it, Sky Return will actually do just enough to knock out this Hoopa this turn, so he will be able to take a prize. Or 2 prizes to be specific. But here, Ryan's hand is just kind of dead yet again. His own Garbodor cutting off his abilities, kind of hurting him a little bit here. But nevertheless, he will be able to draw 2 prize cards, and he will get a card for turn. So he might still be able to come back in this. And here, yeah, I just kind of wish Mandy would have Sycamored. last turn because if she had hit the switching card, she could have actually just won this first game. Um, but who knows what would happen? Maybe she would have whiffed it, but I feel like she had decent odds. Okay, so I see an Ultra Ball, a Versus Seeker, a Birch. So she is going to opt to play Professor Birch's Observations. Shuffles her hand into her deck, then you get to flip a coin. If heads, you draw 7. If tails, you draw 4. So she's going to get 4 cards off the Birch, and let's see what she ends up doing with it. So we see an Enhanced Hammer in hand. I think a Baby Veltal. I couldn't tell what the other cards were. But I gotta say, Mandy's board is looking absolutely terrifying at this point. She definitely has enough energy on the field to knock out pretty much anything Ryan has. So he's going to need to take out one of these Giratinas, I think. Like, he'll need a Mega Mewtwo with a Lysander and enough energy to knock out this Giratina. So again, I'm thinking if I'm Ryan, I might just scoop and just go to game 2 at this point. Because even though as far as prizes go, there's not a huge difference, Mandy's board is just so much more well developed than his. Just going to attach a double colorless energy. And he's going to swing on this Darkrai, but I think she might be able to knock him out. Let's see, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Yeah, so I think she can just knock out this Mega Mewtwo, unfortunately. And yet another energy goes down, and she enhanced hammers him. Just had insult to injury. And here, like I said, if I'm not mistaken, Darkrai will just be able to take a knockout. Going down to 1 prize, so I think Mandy is definitely in position to win this, but okay, he does draw Versus Seeker, which is good because that means he can actually... okay, so he can play N, put her down at a 1-card hand under item lock, which is good too. So I definitely think that's the play. I'd maybe even consider playing Silent Lab as well, just to thin it out of the deck, because he needs a lot this turn. He needs a Spirit Link, a Mega Mewtwo. I think really that's actually about it. But oh, going for Lysander. That's interesting. He's going to do Energy Absorption. Huh. I don't know if I like that play or not, actually. Okay, so she is going to Enhanced Hammer him. Attaching to Giratina. And looks like she's going to play Verse Seeker maybe for... okay, for Professor Sycamore. And just upping her hand, see she has an N. I think a Lysander in there as well. See, I would have maybe preferred just Lysandering the Garbodor, because she... I think she actually just could have won there because Giratina hits for 100. Okay, so yeah, either way, she does hit the escape rope, so Garbodor will be knocked out. And so if they're going to go on to game 2, Ryan definitely did not have a great game. Both players were drawing dead, kind of in the beginning, middle of the game, but Ryan just never really got going. So let's see what happens here. And surprisingly, Giratina actually didn't do too much until the final turn of the game. Really, I think Ryan just taking so long to get set up, it really just allowed Mandy to develop her board and get enough energy on the field just to knock out these Mewtwo's with relative ease. And never saw any fairy drops or anything like that. So hopefully this game will be a little bit more, I guess, of an accurate representation of what Ryan's deck can do. Oh my god, and he has to start with a Hoopa EX, and I think he doesn't have a draw supporter for the turn either, so this is pretty bad. He's got to be feeling horrible about this right now. Okay, and she starts Giratina. Okay, luckily he does draw a Mewtwo. He can put a Spirit Link and a double colorless on it. Looks like he's debating. I think he should Parallel City because Mandy probably only plays Parallel City, so if this one goes down, it's going to stay there the rest of the game. So this will prevent Mandy from playing something like a Hoopa EX. Well, it won't prevent her from playing it, but it'll prevent her from being able to take full advantage of something like a Hoopa. So let's see what she opts to go for. I didn't see her hand, so she might go for Shaman if she doesn't have a draw supporter. Okay, she is going to go for Hoopa though. Probably just grab 2 Darkrai's if I had to guess then. Okay, yeah, or Darkrai. Okay, I'm not sure if she realizes that or I guess remembers that the Parallel City is in play. So we'll have to see what she chooses to bench. Definitely a Darkrai and maybe a Giratina. Oh, yeah, here it looks like Mandy forgot about Parallel City. So she's just going to opt to keep the Darkrai's on the bench. But nevertheless, she's still not in a horrible spot. I can't tell what her hand is too much, but okay, so it looks like Ryan still has nothing. This has definitely not been a good series for him so far. But he does have Lysander, so he can Lysander up Hoopa EX and try to stall similarly to what he did in the last game. And then he's just going to pass, or retreat into Mewtwo and pass. So he probably wants to retreat that Hoopa with a double Colorless Energy before Giratina comes out and starts locking his special energies. And here he gets delinquited to a 0-card hand. That is crazy. So again, Mandy's probably feeling pretty good right now. So she has Giratina up. If she gets a double Dragon Energy, she can start locking Ryan. Oh, but here he top decks a Shaman, so he is definitely going to jump back into this game now. So cool, he gets a Mewtwo EX. See an Ultra Ball, so he will be able to grab a Trubbish as well. That's going to be the big card he really wants to get down. Hopefully he can get a Float Stone too. And I do see some Float Stones in his deck, so he does have a decent chance of being able to pull that off this turn. So there might be hope yet for him to jump back here, because I don't think Mandy actually had much to work with in her hand either. So Mewtwo, Shaman for some more cards. He's probably really digging for that Float Stone this turn. And what does he attach? Probably the double Colorless Energy, I feel like, because he can always Mega Turbo the basic energies later. And he might have to Sycamore away that hand, I hate to say. Yeah, he had to get Reverse Seeker and a Mega Turbo and Lysander, but he really needs a Float Stone this turn and a Spirit Link. So he does get a Spirit Link, which is nice, but I don't see a Float Stone. And here he's just going to Mega Evolve, and that's probably going to be it for his turn. And okay, Mandy continuing not really to have much, so Ryan's definitely finding a little bit of a window of opportunity here to slowly sneak back into this game. But here we're going to see a Crushing Hammer. So she is going to be able to discard that double Colorless Energy off Ryan's Mega Mewtwo. And okay, she does have Versus Seeker, but I don't think she has a draw supporter. She only has the Ninja Boy and Delinquent in the discard currently. Okay, and he top decks a Float Stone. I'm sure he's excited to see that. But he has an interesting decision. Does he attach it to Hoopa to retreat, or attach it to Trubbish? I think... Okay, he's getting a little greedy here. He probably wants to attach that double Dragon Energy, or double Colorless. I keep mixing this up, guys, sorry. But he's going to Sycamore yet again, really digging to hit Garbodor and a Float Stone. So he did get Garbodor, but just no Float Stone. So Mega Mewtwo, he can Parallel City. I definitely think he should do that. I think actually facing Parallel City either way is a decent call here, just because you can get rid of these easy prizes like Shaman off your board, or you can limit your opponent. Oh, okay, and Silent Lab, that's actually really big. I didn't even notice that in his hand. So this will allow him to actually hit the Giratina, because Silent Lab cuts off the abilities for basic Pokemon. So that'll work just as good as a Garbodor right here. It'll also prevent Mandy from playing Shamans if she draws into one. Okay, and here she just has to pass. So Ryan has finally found a way to set up his board. It looks like he's debating on playing Parallel City on himself. It's a little risky doing this because if she does have a way to eventually knock out this Garbodor, he won't have another out to attacking Giratina. But I think this is fine because Giratina is getting knocked out, and Mandy doesn't have much of anything right now, so I think it was a fine play. Okay, she finally gets a Professor Sycamore, discarding that Ranger and the Versus Seeker. So she needs a lot here. She needs probably Max Elixirs, um, a manual attachment, Fighting Fury Belt, that'll also help. Okay, does she have Max Elixir? That's going to be a big card. Oh, she does have Enhanced Hammer, so that is definitely good against Mega Mewtwo. Maybe slow Ryan down a little bit for her to kind of jump back into this game. Here we're going to see a Dark Pulse, probably just, I think, for 70 is how much it does. Yes, so 70 damage. And, okay, so Ryan's going to play Trainer's Mail. Gets a Fairy Drop. That actually could be a good card. Or a Versus Seeker, because I'm not sure if he actually has a supporter in his hand. And I might be mistaken, but this might even be his last Versus Seeker. It looks like he's counting the cards in his deck, so he's probably thinking about playing Professor Sycamore this turn. And if that's the case, he'll probably actually just draw into Fairy Drop anyways. This looks like he's debating if he wants to Ultra Ball first. So if there's any more useless cards in his deck, he can actually get them out and discard them. Looks like he's going for Trubbish, but I think he has forgotten that he played Parallel City with the blue side facing himself, so he can only have 3 bench Pokemon currently. Oh, okay. So maybe he just wanted to thin it from his deck. So he does play Super Odd, or he does have Super Odd in hand, so he will be able to get back a Garbodor line if he does have to discard them or if one gets knocked out. So here he's just going to Psychic Infinity. Starting to put some pressure on Darkrai. I think it would be very difficult for her to get a knockout on Mega Mewtwo this turn. So unfortunately, I think this Darkrai is probably going to go down next turn, so she really needs to think about powering up something else. Ideally, she needs to power up Giratina, and, well, she needs a double Dragon Energy this turn, a double Dragon Energy next turn, with a Lysander to knock out Garbodor. If she can do that, she's actually in an okay spot, I think. So it's just a matter of what she draws into here. Okay, she does have Max Elixir. That can be a help, but I don't think she's going to be able to pull off the Giratina next turn. She's going to need an additional turn after that, I think. But here she whiffs the Max Elixir altogether, so definitely not doing that well right here. And yeah, this game turned on pretty quickly because, like I said, Ryan is almost certain to take a knockout on this Darkrai if she leaves it active. So, but it looks like she's just going to Dark Pulse yet again. And Ryan's thinking about Sycamoring, it looks like, but I'm not really sure what he really needs this turn. I'd almost play a little conservatively and just attack. Okay, so he does decide to do that. I definitely like that play better here. So Max Elixir, let's see if she can get one. Okay, so she does get the energy onto Giratina. And the game's not over yet because, like I said, if she can get this Giratina powered up, she can swing back in this game. So she does draw a double Dragon Energy as well. But I don't see a way to Lysander next turn. That's the unfortunate thing here. Oh, and I don't even know if I like attaching to Darkrai because it's not going to be able to attack till next turn. Like, Mewtwo's going to attack it. I forget how much damage it's doing. Was that 130, 110 after resistance? So Ryan's going to attack into it. If she wants to commit another energy to it to attack, Ryan will just be able to finish knocking it out on the following turn. Oh, and here she benches a Shaman, forgetting Garbo's in play. Oh, that is unfortunate. We've all been there, though. I know I've been guilty of that many times. So Ryan's continuing to power up this Mewtwo even more and more. So what is he going to do? 130 now, I believe it is. Because... Oh, 140. My mistake, I guess. And what does she have? Again, she can attach to this Darkrai, but I don't think she's going to have enough energy to actually knock it out. Because I think she'll only be attacking for 90 if she attaches the energy to it. So here she's going to play Versus Seeker for Sycamore. She needs to attach that. Oh man, she needs to attach the Double Dragon Energy and hope for a switching card. I mean, luckily she does draw into another one, but I hate to say it might be a little too late. At this point, again, if I'm in Mandy's spot here, I forget how much time in the round has passed at this point since these videos are sped up for the sake of time, but I'd imagine that you probably want to conserve as much time for game 3 as possible. Okay, she is going to play Switch, but I'm not sure what you switch into. Maybe Hoopa? Okay, just Giratina, but... Okay, she's going to Floatstone Giratina. But again, here, I would just prefer promoting the Hoopa with a Floatstone on it. That way you can safely power up Giratina on the bench. But here, Ryan can just take a knockout. So they're going to go on to Game 3. And I'm sure Mandy is going to opt to go first here. So yeah, kind of a slow game for Mandy. Both players didn't have the greatest starts yet again, but Ryan was able to top deck out of it a little bit sooner and start building his board and all that. Whereas Mandy kind of was remaining a little bit stagnant with a dead hand for a little bit longer. So, and yeah, that game I think kind of shows how this matchup goes. You know, Ryan was able to get the Garbodor out and start ability locking Mandy. So Giratina's effectiveness really wasn't as good. And that in combination, just not having much to work with. She didn't have enough energy on the field to really do a lot of damage with Darkrai either. So just a little bit of an unfortunate matchup. So let's see if this third game will be a little bit less heavily reliant on top decking out of dead draws. It's never fun to watch players draw pass. So let's have to see how this one goes. And I'm really not sure what the count of Ryan's fairy drops are. To be honest, I'm not too familiar with the archetype. I know that it did well, I believe, at Dallas Regionals, if I'm not mistaken. But I haven't researched too much into it. But I think we've only seen one fairy drop over the course of 2 games. So I don't know if he just plays the one, or I would imagine he'd play 2 or maybe 3, but I could be mistaken. So I'm just curious if we're going to see more of that in this next game. Here Ryan's just debating on who he wants to start with. He's going to opt to start with Mewtwo, it looks like, keeping Trubbish there on the bench. So Mandy does start with Giratina, gets the Dark Energy down on it. And does she have a draw supporter? I don't think she... Oh wait, I think I might see a Professor Birch's observations. If that's the case, she will be okay. Okay, so she's going to play Hex Maniac and pass, which is actually pretty good, to be honest, because Ryan's hand was very, very strong here. He had a Hoopa and all sorts of stuff. I might even consider just, oh man, I was going to say just play Hex again. That would be hilarious. And actually, I may have preferred that play, to be honest, because she could have Versus Secret for Hex Maniac, forcing Ryan to just kind of draw pass again, more than likely. And then the following turn, she can Birch and try to hit a Double Dragon Energy. So I kind of would have liked to have seen that play, personally, but too late now. So let's see how this goes. It's going to Ultra Ball away a couple cards here. Getting rid of Center Lady and a Fairy Energy. It seems like great things to get rid of. You can Versus Seeker for the Center Lady later, and you can Mega Turbo back that Fairy Energy. So I'm guessing he's probably going to grab... Oh, okay, looks like he's eyeing down a second Trubbish. I kind of like that play. Since we might not even see Mega Mewtwo hit the board, I think that might be actually a good idea to uh, just get a second Trubbish down just in anticipation of a Lysander. So here Ryan's going to use Hoopa EX, grab himself a Mewtwo and a Shaman EX. So even if he just ends his turn by Mega Evolving, that might be okay. We'll have to see how this goes. He's going to bench that Mewtwo and then use Setup probably to draw 3. Okay, we see a Spirit Link and a Mega Mewtwo, or I'm sorry, a Mewtwo from Evolutions. Looks like he's debating discarding a couple things. He's going to get rid of Super Rod and Mewtwo EX. Probably grab himself a Mega Mewtwo if I had to guess. Okay, and he might have prized 2 Megas. That's the only one I'm seeing in his deck. So if that Mewtwo goes down, he just discarded his Super Rod. The game could get kind of ugly after that. There might be a lot of Sky returning if that ends up happening. So we're going to see a Spirit Link come down on... Oh, on Trubbish. That's interesting. So, okay, so definitely a smart play on Ryan's part, just because now Giratina can use Chaos Wheel, which would prevent him from playing tool cards. But here he's in such a bad spot because this Giratina, if she draws a Fury Belt, can just knock him out. Wait, is that the game already? Wait, so Mega Mewtwo does, what, 70 by himself, then was that another 130? Oh, dang, 190. So that was actually a super quick. Dang, okay, it's a little anticlimactic for a game 3, guys. I didn't expect that to end so soon. Maybe I was thinking she had Fury Belt on or something, but yeah. um, kind of anticlimactic games. Both players were dead drawing in games 1 and 2, and then game 3 just ends on like the, what, second or third turn of Ryan's. So. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy getting to see this. Even though Darkrai Tina is kind of a popular common archetype, Mandy still played some interesting cards in it, like Flare Grunt and the hammers and stuff. And Ryan was playing his own techs like Fairy Drop and stuff like that. So a couple of interesting twists on some popular archetypes, if nothing else. But yeah, definitely stay tuned. We have the finals coming up. I'll be sure to put a link somewhere if it's uploaded by the time you get to watch this. But as usual, guys, feel free to like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch over at rarecandytcg.com. If you can pick up something to help support the channel, it'd mean a lot to us. But with that, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you for the next one.